recording good?
I'm recording good.
I love it when you record right there.
Like when you record right there. I can't see anything.
I can't see. How did she do it?
Oh my God, this is a feat in itself. Don't even talk about the altitude change. Talk about fighting with blinders on. Holy shit.
She was not helping herself.
No, she wasn't. So, hello.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh,
hi.
Hey. Welcome to another episode of Two Straws.
And if you guys didn't know, if you guys have been living under a rock, we are talking about the events of UFC Denver that just happened.
Yes, they were a mile high. And I'm not talking about Tracy Cortez's eyelash. Yo, so let's just jump into the main event. How crazy was that? Well, I wouldn't say crazy like you doing okay there?
Yeah, I was just trying to adjust. Sorry, I'm very distracted by these. I do not know how anybody fights with falsies.
So we wanted to really capture what Cortez was going through when she fought last night. And the eyelashes kind of stole the show because the first knockdown, or the only knockdown I think that happened, first round, there was a slow-mo clip of her getting 3-2'd and an eyelash went flying into the crowd. I wonder if anyone caught it. It just lands on like Sean Shelby's head.
Well, ESPN did a great job of capturing it and slow-moing it.
And, of course, Dominic Cruz felt the need to draw attention to it. Like,
of course.
She punched her eyelash off. Everyone's like, oh, we were going to let it slide, but.
I went to tweet it and I was like, you know what? It's too late. You already got me on that one.
Everyone did. Like, as I'm talking right now, I see this halo, this black halo above my eyes. I feel like it's such a distraction.
It's even worse with the light.
Yeah.
We have a ring light, of course. It's natural, but it's amplified right now.
Yes.
The glow.
We're glowing.
But I mean, can you imagine the bright lights over the octagon, just kind of like cueing in over these lashes, and it's definitely a distraction. I mean, she practices with them every single day, so I feel like she's
a pro.
Adapted, acclimated as she was the altitude. Impressively, by the way.
Yeah.
Even though this was a short notice fight, like she really still had high output, and I was leaning towards Rose winning, not just on skill wise, but for the fact that Tracy Cortez took this on short notice.
Yeah.
And it's an altitude.
Yeah.
And a lot of people on like Denver fight cards tend to fall victim to the altitude. And this was no exception.
Yeah.
But Tracy pushed through and still had really high output impressively.
Yeah. A couple of the short notice guys were able to really show out on the Denver card. So I'm starting to think it's a mind over matter thing. Tracy's best rounds were 4th and 5th. We had our boy Energy Charles Johnson got the knockout in the third round. Yes, Skullet gang. If you can't read it right here. And then who's the other person? There was one more short.
Elder.
Oh, Elder too?
Elder and Flowers.
Okay.
They were the opening fight, right?
And the short notice guy got to finish?
I think that was a decision.
Oh,
no. It was a submission. It was a head and arm.
Ooh, okay. And then I was going to say John Silva. This card was cursed too. What happened?
I know.
And I think the worst part about it is if you get that call for a short notice fight for Denver, you're like, no.
No, thank you.
Especially if you felt altitude before. It's definitely a real thing.
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
I've taken a short notice fight in Denver.
Oh.
But I got lucky. This was early in my career before I knew like the severity of the effects of altitude. I really didn't have any concept of what it was like or what to expect. But I arrived right before weigh-ins. I weighed in and then I fought the next day. So I feel like I kind of missed it.
No, that's the best way to do it
Yeah.
if you don't have a few months or like a month or 3 weeks to acclimate, is to go there before your body realizes it's fucked. Like, you just get there and your body's like, wait a second, this is different. And then you do the thing, you get out there, and in the airport, you're sucking air, because that's when it really starts to hit you like, ugh.
Yeah, well, at my after party, I was definitely feeling the effects.
You got to dump. Adrenaline and altitude dump.
Yes, it also helps you get buzzed way faster.
Hey, it does.
It does.
And I did a fight camp at altitude when I fought the second time in Mexico City. And it was so hard to keep weight on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just burning extra calories just from trying to
Breathe.
Yes.
Your body's just trying to function and live.
Yeah, I saw this stupid TikTok where these girls are like, oh, once you lose weight from farting, like farting burns 60 calories. They're just walking around going, burn. Well, breathing there, I'm sure, burns more calories than breathing at sea level.
I remember the first time I was in Mexico City, and I was not fighting. I was just there watching and supporting. And I remember being exhausted and winded, waking up in the middle of the night to use the restroom in the hotel room. No, true story. I was exhausted, and it took my body forever to acclimate. Every time I went up a flight of stairs, anytime I wanted to walk to the store, like anything, it just zapped the energy out of you.
Yeah, and it's funny you said the thing about getting buzzed. We had a friend who thought she got roofied out there because she had a couple of drinks, and usually a couple of drinks don't do what a couple of drinks at altitude does to you.
It's a real thing. It's serious.
Can freak you out for sure. Yeah. So anyway, going back to the amazing feat that Tracy Cortez put on by still being able to have that push in the end, but I've just felt like it was a tall order, not just like you said, altitude, but skill wise. And Rose just seemed to have her number from the get go.
Oh my goodness. I was so impressed with Rose's hips, because for her hips, she was shucking off those takedowns like nobody's business.
Yeah.
It was impressive because previously when she fought Fioret. Manon Fioret. We noticed, or I noticed a bit of, a size strength advantage, and I think she's definitely growing into the weight class very well. Tracy Cortez is one of the bigger girls in the division. As we saw, she had trouble making weight. We need to talk about that too. But it was going to be, I think, a good test for her to see how she does with those bigger frames in the 5 rounds and see where she's at. And I think she's growing into the division nicely. I was really impressed with her takedown defense and just shucking it off and making Tracy look like they, we're always in the same weight class.
Yeah, I was impressed with her takedowns as well. Like, not just the defense, but the offense, to be able to take down someone who has a wrestling base, who's a bigger girl with bigger hips. It's hard to really get under them. It's hard to knock them off balance, but she did a great job. She hit that little sneaky trip takedown that you love doing so much.
I love it.
Maybe that should be our technique breakdown.
I think so.
Hey,
we got it. I love that thing.
If you want a technique breakdown of, I call it the girl double leg.
I call it a lazy man double.
Lazy man, okay, or a lazy girl double.
Lazy girl double.
We can combine them,
but it works. It's the first takedown that I've ever been able to land live against men in training.
Hey.
It's a really, really good one.
It is. And Tracy landed her own in the fight too. I think Rose was like, hey, I could do that. And then she started doing it. And her ground was really impressive too. She was able to not just out grapple, but recover from mistakes. If she got too high on her, she was able to recover. If she started to lose the back, she was able to get to another good position. And then as soon as it got back up to the feet, she was striking again. So I think this is a real nice showcase of how diverse Rose's skill set is. This was a great fight to see that.
I agree. And I think that it just shows the different levels of the game. Tracy is a great fighter. She's well-rounded, but she's still kind of fairly green as far as her MMA career goes. So I think there's still a lot of growing pains and learning experiences, which I think this is a good one for her.
Yeah, she's young too. And the thing is, she doesn't fight that often. Rose doesn't fight that often too, but she's been doing it a lot longer than Tracy has. So, especially at the high level that she's been fighting. So you learn lessons quick once you break into that high level. And this was a big jump up for Tracy. She'll be able to have a lot of stuff to work on. I feel like when you're a young fighter, and I'm thinking way back to when that was me.
We were wee lass.
Way back when MySpace was a thing. No, not that old. But think it back to when I was a young fighter. It takes fights like that to push you to that next level where a lot of times you think you know everything. It's like, what's that thing they call in jiu-jitsu? It's like blue belt syndrome, where you start to learn a bunch of stuff and all of a sudden you think you know more than the purple and the brown belts and the black belts because you've studied a lot and you're really excited about it and you hit some good moves. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I don't know shit. And this is her, oh, I don't know shit moment where she has the drive and she has the heart to be really good. She has the baseline skills, but she just has to keep finessing them. So, yeah, it was really good effort, especially in the last rounds. But Rose really showed how good she is in that weight class. And I think that's the biggest story from that fight.
I think that a lot of people can take a page out of Rose's book as far as, walking a little bit closer to competition weight, not having to suck weight, and not being afraid to, experience a different weight class. I think that it was really impressive what she did. I think there's some big takeaways that Tracy can take from the fight, and one of those is the head movement. She wasn't necessarily slower, but the way she came in with those initial punch strikes was just straightforward. There wasn't a whole lot of defense or head movement.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really big takeaway she can get.
Yeah, that was a big difference between her boxing and Rose's. Is Rose would land something big, and then already she was rolling with the punch. And that's when Tracy would try to land her big counter and would miss it. The best times that she landed was when Rose just decided to stand and bang with her. And then you could hear Pat Barry yelling, going, don't do that, Rose. We're doing Rose. Take that, Rose. And then she'd do that, and she'd get back on rhythm. So I think it's hard to teach someone rhythm, but it's easy to teach someone to just move your head off the center line. It's easy to teach them to hit, slip, and then hit again, or hit, slip, take down, little things like that, where her head isn't going to be so predictable, because she got a little big head too,
A little big head? No, it's a big head.
Yeah, she got a big head. With big eyelashes, and that's why you need the big eyelashes, because if she had small eyelashes, you wouldn't see them. I don't know. You started it. You started it.
You did.
We have video proof that Jess started by saying that she has a big head. You're so mean.
I just mean she has
enormous.
Whatever. Okay. Stop it.
Spoken from Miss P Head herself.
I'm a headist because I have a very small head myself. So I acknowledge when everyone has a bigger head than I do.
Oh, which is like 99% of the population.
Everyone. Very tiny, but it is proportionate. I am quite petite framed.
No, you have a very proportionate head to body ratio.
Thank you. I just don't fit into hats very well.
Like a Doberman pincher.
I gotta wear kid sizes.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, so she has a big target, and I feel like when you do come in head first trying to get your stuff going, you have to learn how to move your head off the center line. Otherwise you're just gonna get cracked and interrupted, and then you're never gonna get going and doing what you want to do. You can see that frustration in there.
Or you have to take a page from bless y'all.
I was so scared to think of my
fly
forehead. These things are hanging on by a thread.
Don't use up all your blinks too early in the podcast. That glue is going to start deteriorating.
My
too
eyes
fast.
are watering.
Yeah.
The glue, the glue is not going to last.
Or if somebody is not able to kind of pick up on that head movement, Robert Whitaker is a great example of somebody. Yes, he has head movement, but it's more of the in out. He's really springy on his feet. He uses his footwork more so than his head movement.
Right.
And so that would be...
He brings his head away from danger.
Yes. His whole body.
Yeah.
In and out, in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that would be a fun one for her to try to lock down too. But yeah, it was good effort from Tracy. Great showing from Rose. And I'm interested to see who's going to be next for both of them. I wouldn't mind. So I'm in two minds about it because I feel like Tracy Cortez was a similar opponent to Macy Barber.
I still want to see that fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Macy has more sting. She has more threat when it comes to her boxing. Like, if she lands on you, it could be the end of the fight. And we've never really seen that from Tracy.
Mm-hmm. What Macy would bring to the table in the Rose fight, or, you know, if and when, hopefully when they finally, compete against each other, I think that she is her pressure, her tenacity, a lot like Juliana Penne, is just, she's all forward. She is high volume, high pace, and I think that really exhausts people. And I think that would be a great test for Rose to see how she does too against a bigger opponent who has just a little bit more gears.
Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you know, Macy does have a lot of health issues, so they might not want to put her in that big spotlight again so soon until they make sure everything's all right. So I wouldn't mind seeing Tracy versus Macy either. Tracy Macy Instagram hot girl contest. She's been doing her little bikini workouts. Have you seen them?
No.
Well, she'll, like, I don't know, be in a kiddie pool, jump in the kiddie pool, and then do squats, and there's close-ups of her butt. And
I've been missing out, apparently.
yeah, she's on my For You page a lot.
Interesting.
I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my algorithm?
Yeah, what are you liking and just hovering over a little bit too long?
I've just been too female, congratulatory, maybe. Just liking too many strawweights and flyweights stuff and just being like, you go, girl. I need to go back to being shady.
Yeah, I like animal pictures, so that's what I get.
Yeah, good
For You.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job. I wish. No,
it's a very happy place on my recommendations.
Oh man, yeah. So I think that would be an interesting one. I think it would be a not as big of a step up for Tracy, but she'd be able to practice whatever mistakes she made in this one with just like the footwork, with not moving her head, with not being able to string together her punches to takedown combinations as she'd like. And with Macy, we have seen her have issues with people who have good grappling, who have good wrestling. So it'd be a fun one for sure.
I don't see that happening, though, because Macy was so outspoken with how she didn't want to take a step backward and fight Rose because she thought that Rose wasn't in the title picture. You didn't hear all this stuff?
No.
Yes.
Step back.
So No,
I thought Rose was taking a step back. What do I know?
So I feel like she would have potentially the same argument. I think she really wants a title shot fast. She wants the quickest path to it. But now I see that being Rose.
Yeah. If you can't show up on fight day, then, you know, someone can swoop in and take your fight, take your spot. Yeah. And that's definitely Rose right now. Do you think that she has to fight one more person to get the title shot, or you think it's winner of Grasso, Shevchenko?
I think she has a good argument for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had her fight somebody else. I don't know who that person could be. Other than Macy, because I'm very attached to this happening. I am very selfish. I really want to see this fight happen. But because Rose was number 5 when she fought, I think this bumped her up.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up now, the flyweight rankings.
Yeah, and Tracy was, I think, 11 or 12.
Oh, dang. Rose was number 6 on here. And Tracy was number 11. And then you have Shevchenko at 1. She's fighting Grasso next. Manon Fiora at 2. Erin Blanchfield at 3.
How is Erin Blanchfield still up there?
I mean, she only lost to Manon.
So we could see Rose and Blanchfield.
Yeah, that would actually be a really good fight.
Because I feel like Manon is next in line. She's in the queue, in the bullpen, batter's box.
Yes, it can't not be Manon unless like she takes a dumb fight. Like who was it? Oh, JoJo. She was next in line for a title shot, and then she was like, I'll take one more fight. And then she fought who was it?
Jennifer Maya?
Yes, she fought Mariya and got choked out or armbarred or something.
She got beat.
Yeah, we're like, that sucks.
Yeah, sometimes it can be really dangerous. Some people, it's a cautionary tale. People have completely lost their title shot and gotten bumped so far down in the rankings, and they haven't been able to climb themselves back up.
Yeah, that's why Leon Edwards didn't want to take too many fights when he was in that position.
I get it.
Kept losing fights to COVID and then really didn't want to do anything but the title shot. And people talked a lot of crap about him, but it ended up working out in his favor because who knows who could have snuck in and slept him while he was waiting for his title shot. So,
for sure.
Yeah, it would be smart, I think, for Rose or for Manon to wait. And yeah, I really like that Rose versus Blanchfield fight.
Me too. I think that one just got me excited.
Yeah, because like there's so much that Rose can do to her on the feet that Manon was able to do with the check hooks, with the counters, with the frustration. But then I want to see if Rose would be like confident enough to go to the ground with her.
I think she would.
Yeah, but I want to see it happen.
Oh, for sure.
Because the easier fight is on the feet, obviously. But I'd like to see what she does with that.
No, I think that's definitely a fight to make.
Yeah, that would be fun. So there you go. That was that fight. Let's talk about that weigh-in.
That was really weird. Did you see Rose's post-fight press conference when they asked her about it?
Yeah, she was kind of like,
Well, she was kind of like, yeah, it was a little kind of suspicious. She's like, she was still holding the hair. They asked her to... She said that she didn't see them reset the scale. And then she wanted to know how exhaling pushes out 0.5 of a pound. Like half a pound.
I thought she said, oh, okay. Yeah, when they said blow out her hair, I thought they meant like blow dry it. But I guess she just meant blow out air.
That's what I got out of it. I don't know. So she cut her hair off and she was still like clinging to her hair. And I understand there really is an attachment to hair. Like if you tell me to chop off my hair, I'd probably have an issue.
Yeah, but it's so long and luxurious and you have a tiny head.
That's why I can't have short hair.
Have to decorate it. Her haircut looked phenomenal. I actually prefer her hair at that length.
Me too.
It was cute.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it.
No, me either.
Yeah.
But it was kind of crazy that she was holding on to the hair and still tried to weigh in. And
so I heard that she wanted to see the difference between her hair, her on the scale of hair, and then when she gave it to someone. But that's kind of stupid. And also, you're not really thinking when you're weighing in, especially when it's a hard weight cut. You're dehydrated. You're excited to get on the scale and drink that sip of water. It's hard to think clearly. So I understand that a lot of people are like, yo, why would she do that? But I'm sure it made perfect sense to her in her weight cut brain. It's like...
No, that's fair enough.
But like anyone who's cut weight knows that your brain can be racing thinking about that drip of water you get to drink as soon as this thing is over. So I'm sure she was just like kind of frazzled and had the hair in her hand and was determined to take the photo with the hair in her hand and just didn't know what to do with it when she was actually weighing it. So yeah, that was an odd moment. But she did weigh in without the hair. Like that's one thing people keep talking about. They're like, why is she on the scale with the hair?
No, she did hand it off.
But she did hand it off. She handed it off, got the official weigh-in, did not touch the curtain.
She did
DC.
not. Mm-hmm.
Her hands were up in the air. It was, I feel like it was a legit weigh-in. And then after she put her clothes back on, she grabbed the hair and took her dramatic photo. Very Trump-esque. With the ponytail in her hand. Very happy about making that weight. I was kind of dismissive about it too, but then I heard Heidi in the background and she goes, "Okay, baby, 5 seconds,
Oh, I love
3,
Heidi.
2," and then she starts crying. I'm like, ah. That got me. I'm like, am I PMSing? What's wrong?
I was just gonna say. I was gonna ask.
It got me. I was like, ah. If that were me, I'd probably tear up too. So don't make fun of Tracy for crying. It's Heidi. She gives you that mom energy.
Oh, for sure.
When you need a hug and your mom's nowhere to be found because you're a fighter and you're about to fight, Heidi's there. She's there to give you the warmest hug ever. And so I was just thinking about that when that happened. But it was funny listening to Rose talk about it because I feel like the most obvious thing about the whole incident was that you're fighting a girl who's bald. And I felt like because everyone was so wrapped up in the dramatics of cutting your hair to weigh in, they tried to push that fact under the rug. Like,
you can't.
She's bald, right? It's not that big of an issue. I wanted her to shave her head like Rose.
I would have loved it. I think she would still look just as gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful girl. She could rock.
Especially with those eyelashes.
I know.
It was like, yes, you look like a baby doll now.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
You can do it.
Cute
You're
little
fine.
baby doll. I was joking and I kind of feel bad about it now. I feel like I cursed her, but I was joking that she should have just taken the eyelashes off and then she probably would have made weight.
So it's your fault.
And then I got punched.
So the debate that we were having before filming is whether it was a track or if they were extensions. And so extensions, I feel like, are risky to fight with for, different reasons. One, like they're individual strands, so they can actually get into your eye. I, at one time, had lash extensions and one got into my eye during training, and it was very painful. And I had to completely stop and get this huge long thing out of my eye. But it's crazier to me. It's more common to fight with extensions. We see it more and more. It's
I've done it.
Yeah.
But
to fight with tracks is crazy to me because those are just held on by glue, by an adhesive that,
as you see before you.
Yes. And I mean the glue can come up, like it's not like it's necessarily like sweat resistant for very long. Like the glue has a shelf life and it's not meant to be like, during sport activity or getting punched or anything like that. So it was an interesting choice if in fact those were tracks, because it looked like a whole track was punched off of her. So that's very interesting to me and I'm kind of fixated on it.
I think my theory is that it was extensions, but she gets the cumbrellas. You know what I mean? The snuffleupagus.
Umbrella.
It's a term. That's what they call them. That's what the kids call them.
This is a kid-friendly show, Angela.
Is it?
We're gonna have to bleep that out.
Well,
it was. It was until you said
she
that.
She gets to see you mañana brellas. The see you mañana brellas on her eyes, and those things you put maybe 4 or 5 per cuticle. So each of your natural eyelashes has like this little tuft of hair on it. So that little piece of hair could have been from one eyelash. That's how thick she gets her eyelashes. And
I don't know. I feel like they were a track. That's what I saw.
That's what you saw, but I'm telling you, like, it is possible that she punched off a bunch of her natural eyelashes with the extensions attached to them. We have a friend who I went to a grappling tournament with. You know who you are. I'm not going to put you out there. But she looks at me after her match and she goes, "Look at my eye." And that thing was bald because if you fight with extensions in and it gets caught in something, I get worried that one of my braids are going to get ripped out. That's why I cornrow them nice and tidy and make sure there's no like loose ends, because if someone gets a finger in there and they're trying to beat me up, there's a good chance they're going to rip
It could break a finger.
my whole extension out. Yeah, so you have to be, you have to know that that's a possibility. Like, just because something's glued to you doesn't mean it's not going to get ripped off. And I feel like that was just a glued eyelash, like an extension. Like, we go professional lash bar and get the eyelashes glued on. It just got punched out by the cuticle. That's my theory. She probably has a bald eyelash. We gotta look at the post fight press conference to see if there's a bald line.
And I want to know if she went ahead and just like removed the other ones. If it was a track, that's what I would have done.
No, they were, the lashes were still on. That I can confirm. She still had her lashes on, at least on the eye that didn't get punched. So we'll have to do more investigating.
Yes. Yeah. We'll let you know what we find. And let us know what you find, too.
Yeah.
So we're interested in your comments.
I did fight in eyelashes once, and that was probably the one time my eyeball got the most fucked up. I thought one of my eyelashes got punched off. Like, I thought I had a Tracy moment. But when I looked in the mirror, the eyelashes were fine, but I had this huge red dot, like right in the white of my eye.
Eye got stabbed.
My eye got stabbed. So I wasn't sure if it was an eye poke or if it was a knuckle, but I feel like the fact that I had like extensions on, they're harder than your natural eyelashes. So I felt like the extension might have got briefly punched into my eyeball and bruised it. I think I wouldn't recommend it.
The lesson of this whole conversation, the biggest takeaway should be, don't fight with any kind of makeup or lash extensions. It's dangerous.
It is dangerous. And your eyes are important. I think that's the one injury that freaks me out the most. Yes. The injury that freaks me out the most in MMA is getting poked in the eye, or even just getting punched in the eye and something happening to your vision. We have teammates who have, permanently altered vision because they got in a fight and got punched in the eyeball. And it's a scary thing. So, yeah, I'm like, be careful. Be careful out there, Tracy, next time you get in a fight with them things on. Mm-hmm. I know she's going to do it again, though.
Probably.
Yeah. It's her thing. She can't not do it again.
You do you.
I'm like, I don't know if I could deal with Rose fainting on me with all this going on up here.
I don't know if I can finish this podcast with these eyelashes on anymore. I just want to take them off so badly.
I feel like I have a visor on. Like those 80s ones, like one of those Six Flags visors on. Yeah. You just see the brim of the hat. Okay, let's talk about something else. What did you think about Drew Dober versus John Silva?
So I was going for Silva.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah. I won, right? I won our bets.
I think you won the bets.
I did.
Yeah, because you also picked Rose decision.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
Well, I picked Ponzinibbio to win, but he ended up losing a split decision,
which was blasphemy.
It was a really close fight. I would have given it to Ponzinibbio. I think that it's like one of those classic judging criteria miscommunications that we're not understanding as to what wins a fight. And I think they went with the bigger power strikes.
Okay.
But as far as damage and volume, Ponzinibbio had it.
Yeah.
In the first and third round for sure.
Yeah.
I could have I gave the second round to what's his name? Selikov.
Okay. Well, I have the judges' decisions, and Dean Beta is one of the people. He gave first and second round to Selikov. Then Chris Lee gave first and second round to Selikov. and Eric Colin gave first and second round to Ponzinibbio.
Okay, well, they're all wrong.
What?
You're all wrong because that's not how it should have been scored.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
What is wrong with you guys?
Everything. You guys messed it up.
Yeah.
That's not how it should have been scored.
One person on this decisions thing, which I always like to go to decisions.com to make sure I'm not crazy. And the one person who broke it down round by round, GK, he said round 1 Ponzinibbio, round 2 Salikov, and round 3 Ponzinibbio.
He's right because he agrees with me.
He's so right. Good job.
So right.
Good
well
job,
done.
GK. Shout us out on decisions.com because we're always here. We're always here confirming things.
Yeah, that's how it should have been scored.
Yeah. And I think it's wild. Sometimes I feel like it has something to do with the camera angles we get at home when we all see something completely different from what the judges in the arena see. But I don't know. It's just wild when you have the complete opposite scores on both sides.
It really makes me wonder what they're looking at.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah, like how did you all score? How did two judges score completely opposite?
So far off.
Yeah, is wild. But John Silva, he doesn't need judges.
No, because he puts motherfuckers away.
He is insane.
I love him.
How insane is this guy?
He fought Jordan. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? And I'm a big Jordan fan. I love watching him fight. And I hadn't heard of Silva before. Yeah. So I was paying attention to this fight. And the way he put him out, I was like, oh, my God. And then knowing that he was taking a short notice fight with Dober, I was like, man, I bet you this kid is going to do it because he is crazy and he's got power and he's got something that we call no fucks.
Lord's assassin. Lord's assassin is how can you fight a guy named Lord's assassin?
You do your best.
That is scary.
You do your best, Angela.
That is so scary. It reminds me, and I think I said this last time we were talking about him, but it reminds me of that Key and Peele skit where have you ever seen it where the guy's like talking trash? One guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna go beat him up. I can't wait to put my fist in his face. And then they cut to the other guy who's fighting. He's like, when I look at my hands, I can't believe the violence that they must do. But I will do it in the name of, like just really dramatic. And I kind of feel like that's him.
No, it is. All of those fight nerds, like everybody that comes out of that gym have been so impressive lately.
Yeah.
There was, I cannot think of his name, but he had a beautiful knee KO when he fought. And he's a southpaw. I'm gonna get lost on it. Anyways.
I might be able to find him for you. Was it? No.
It was like
any of these guys?
It was like a month ago. Hold on. Pratis.
Pratis. Ooh, the nightmare. Yes, I remember that fight.
So all of these guys coming out of Fight Nerd are just so impressive with their striking. They're just on another level. I don't know what they're feeding them. I don't know what they're doing with them. But they're definitely like a team to watch.
Well, it's like the Shudo box people,
Shoot the box?
Yeah, the gym.
Uh-huh.
Yes, okay. I'm like, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Yes. You just imagine that their training room must be so intense.
Yes.
Like they're getting there, they're scrapping, they're throwing 100%, they're getting battle ready, and everyone in there is a stud. So you're getting the best looks every time you come to training. That way you get in a fight in the UFC, it's easier.
It's nothing. It just raises the level. I love what they're doing. I'm really excited every time one of their members fights because I know I'm in for a treat. Kind of like that old school shoot to box like vibe. Like you're in for like high volume, big kicks, like unorthodox stance switching. Like they're just kind of like creating a name for themselves, which I'm really enjoying watching.
No, it's really fun. And then I'm always wondering what kind of antics he's gonna do when he gets in there. Like that first fight where he fought in the Apex and he took 20 minutes to get into the cage. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
This guy, like, they're trying to rush him into the area where you get greased up, and he's just like slowly walking. What is this guy doing? Moment. He was enjoying the moment, and now he's had so many moments. He got to jump into UFC 303. Then he got that short notice right away for this fight, for the Drew Dober fight. And man, like, who's gonna want to fight him after that? Like, how do you show up short notice?
In
TKO
altitude,
or doctor stoppage Drew Dober at altitude where he lives, you know, and Drew Dober is no pushover.
No, he's not.
We knew it was going to be one guy or the other, and they went at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Within the first minute of the fight, we knew somebody was getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Which is very exciting.
Yes. I can't wait to see what this guy does next. I think he said that he wants to stay at feather.
Yes.
So I'm wondering.
Even more impressive, he went up a weight class.
Yeah, but he did miss weight, only by a few pounds. Yeah. But he did miss weight for the Jordan fight. So yeah, I'm wondering who he could possibly fight next.
Give him anyone. He'll take anyone. He's like got one of those mentalities, you know?
Yeah, I just feel sorry for whoever it is.
Hope it's not a friend.
Leave our friends alone, guy. You're only allowed to fight nerds. So other fights on the card that were interesting. Go. I'm like looking for the fight card. I had the fight card pulled up and now I lost it. Okay,
so we had a big submission win. Luana Santos took on Mariya Agapova.
Agapova, I think.
I think she says it's some
Agapova.
Yeah, something like that.
Agapova.
It was a fast fight. It was Luana fighting at flyweight. Previously, she came in on short notice and fought bantamweight. Mm-hmm. She did well, but she went down into her more normally suited weight class, and she fought a striker. She caught a kick, knocked Agapova down. Agapova went for a double leg to kind of, counter it.
Yeah, reshoot.
Ended up getting in a grapple situation. Luana ended up getting her back and submitting a rear naked choke. It was fast. It was all in the first round. It was extremely fast.
Yeah.
And it was very exciting.
Yeah, no, she is slick on the ground. This is her only loss was our girl Jenna Bishop before she got into the UFC, and it goes to show you that she just really knows what she's doing when she's fighting someone who has like regular MMA, UFC level grappling. She's able to just dominate. I'm excited to see who she's up against next, because in the flyweight division, there's a lot of room to beat up on people, especially because she's comfortable on the feet. She's able to get you into that striking match. You think that's what you're doing, and then all of a sudden, oh, thanks for the leg.
Judo.
Takedown. Yep. Yeah. Really good judo, really good grappling, good ground and pound this time too. Yeah, I'm excited to see what she does next. And she does her little dances. Her little
booty dance, her little Brazilian dance.
Yeah, making all the Brazilians proud.
We had another short notice fight, and that was Jasmine Jasudavicius took on Fatima Kline. Fatima Kline trains at Elevation.
Okay.
Is that the name of the gym?
Oh, okay. Yeah. The one is in Denver too, right?
Yeah. So she came from Invicta. She's normally a strawweight, and she stepped up on, a few days notice, I believe, or, a couple weeks notice to fight at flyweight.
Yeah.
And she ended up doing, pretty well. She had her moments. She had some takedowns. She landed some good strikes. But Jasmine was the bigger, stronger, more developed fighter.
She looked huge in there.
She did.
I don't even know if it was more developed. She was just big. And when she got on top of her, it was hard for Kline to move. It was hard for Kline to get any type of counter grappling, any type of like get ups going. She just got really stuck on her back. And sometimes that's what happens when you're the smaller fighter. I know Fatima, just from her record, like she's really good at strawweight. Like that's definitely her weight class. She's been killing it at strawweight against good competition. So I want to see who she gets next, because it's hard to come into the UFC at a higher weight class. Like that's how Tabitha Ricci got into the UFC. She had to fight.
Oh, Lupe Godinez.
Yeah, they had to fight up a little bit, get beat up by a bigger girl, but then they do great at strawweight. So it's just like the hazing that you have to go through. Some of the girls have to go through in order to get their foot in the door. You do a favor for the UFC.
Well, and
they
that's what I was
slide you a
just gonna
contract.
say. Yeah. There will definitely be like, you know, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Like there is a payoff for it. They're not just going to make you stay at flyweight or just be like, all right, thanks, bye. There's usually like a deal on the table for that.
Yeah.
For doing a favor for the UFC on such short notice.
Yeah. Was Lupe's first fight in the UFC?
Oh, no, it was with me. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
But it was short notice.
It was short notice,
short
yeah. And then she did do favors by jumping in again at flyweight when she really probably shouldn't have. She's a tiny girl, you know. But she did well at flyweight too. So Fatima, she really took one for the team with that one, because she could not get any type of offense off on Jasmine Jasudavicius.
The only reason I know how to say that is because I've called her fights at CFSC.
Oh, very
and
nice.
she used to fight at strawweight. I'm glad to see that she...
That is rough. How big is she? She looked
tall.
huge.
She's tall. She used to just walk around very close to fight weight.
5'7". Dang.
But she has a bigger frame, you know? And I'm glad to see that she gave her body the time and space to grow and strengthen itself, because she was just competing so much that she wanted to stay at such a light weight, and it's taking a lot out of your body and your energy. Yeah. And your ability to recover.
Yeah. She's probably cutting her hair every day. No lashes for you. That's going to throw your ounces off. That was a good chick fight though. A lot of promise in Fatima Kline in the future, and then in a lot of promise with Luana Santos too. But did you see that like 10-second fight that happened?
What's it called? The Jackson Blackshear?
Yes.
I did.
I saw it like 5 times because
well, I mean, they had to fill up space by repeating it and repeating and repeating it. Luckily, you know, they did enough to kind of give the person warming up some time. Yeah. That's always stressful. Happens. That is so stressful. So, you know, we're on a TV schedule, and, you know, there are times when people are supposed to walk, and there are times to be ready by. And so, you know, you're given notification when, you know, you're going to be on deck. You need to get ready. You need to, like, you know, get your gloves taped. You need to, you know, put your cup in if you're a guy. Like, there's just like, there's certain things, and you kind of, you know, use those markers to get ready. And when a fast knockout happens, it just really throws everything off, and it's kind of chaos for a little bit until, you know, you're like put into the position behind the curtain, and then you're ready to walk out. Like, it kind of screws with things a little bit.
It does. I hate that gray area where you're not sure if you're supposed to be walking, or if you have time to use the bathroom real quick.
Or the bathroom's a big thing.
Yeah, or if you should put your sweatshirt back on so you don't get too cold. Like, there's a lot that goes into you being ready to go when they say, okay, it's your time. And when you're fighting on a card and you don't have to deal with that, it's such a relief. Like if you're the first fight of the night, or if you're the opener for
the prelims, or the opener, the main, like you're guaranteed to go on at these specific times. So there's a little bit of like comfort.
There is. I know 7:03, I got to be ready. Yeah. That's the time. I got to be ready with my shoes halfway off and nice and warm, ready to walk out, do my little screams, get slapped, and get in the cage. And not knowing that gives me a little tiny bit of anxiety.
There's a little anxiety in there. No, you can say it. That's fair.
Yeah. But that fight was pretty wild, how fast it happened. And it was nothing fancy. It was just a 1-2.
Well, what helped set it up was the fact that Blackshear, he threw a naked, or he tried to skip in. Mm-hmm. So he came in on one foot, he came in off balance, and the momentum of him coming in kind of helped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it looked like he was trying to do like one of those GSP punches where you lift the lead leg and then throw it back, or maybe even a jump knee or something like that, where your legs are moving and he was midway on his way to doing something and just got interrupted. And that interruption, the ability to do that, that's what Rose was doing for most of the fight with Tracy. The ability to catch someone as they're like, all right, here we go. It's so good. It's just hitting someone when they're not expecting to get hit, especially in those first few seconds of a fight where you're still feeling each other out. You're still trying to get there. Oh, my God.
You almost lost it. It's running away.
Oh, God.
It's running away.
It's like in my eyeball. Medic.
Stay brave.
Medic.
Stay strong.
Yeah. It's tough. I can't imagine how someone could do that with eyelashes on, get interrupted in the middle of their combo, and it's easy to just get dropped like that when that happens, when you're willing to take the risk of being first in a fight.
Yeah, and it's also a cautionary tale of throwing naked kicks and knees. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to feint first. You need to throw out a punch. I feel like there should be things in front, or you should be attached to somebody with a clinch or in some kind of way when you're throwing a knee or a kick. They just need to be set up more, because I feel like those are a little bit easier to counter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as someone's legs start moving, I know, go.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're fighting someone, you're not really looking at their hands or their eyes. You're kind of looking at the entire body. Like, their entire body is in your peripheral, so you can see every limb that's moving. And as soon as you see the legs kind of jogging, a lot of people's reaction is to just go straight down the pipe, like boom, boom.
And usually the head is there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If you can see where the neck is, you know where the head's gonna be.
It's attached.
Mm-hmm. And when you do that jog like that, usually your head is right straight up and down. You're not jogging to the side or anything like that. So perfect timing. Really impressive the way he was able to just pop that in. Usually doesn't finish a fight, but hey.
In this case, yeah, it was Monday night.
Yeah, it was a good one. I really enjoyed that. So we were at the bar watching this, and I missed the guillotine by Julian Erosa.
I didn't.
Yeah, tell me about it. Break it down.
So he was not winning that fight.
Okay.
At all. Rodriguez had his number. So Erosa is 6'1" at featherweight, which is it's a tall, lanky frame, and you're fighting somebody who's more short and compact. And Rodriguez was really able to push him back with the straight punches, keep in the pocket. And Erosa just looked really slow. But he was game. He was, trying to egg him on. He was trying to engage, but Rodriguez just was a little bit too quick for him. Erosa ended up catching a kick, getting him down, immediately taking the back, tried to sink in the rear naked choke. There was a scramble, and then he ended up jumping the guilly.
Hey!
Yep, and ended up getting a first-round submission on a fight that looked like it was going to be a really tough night for him.
Nice.
It was impressive.
I love guillotines. I got to go back and watch that, because that's like my new favorite thing. Not just because I got one, but it's just such a good reaction for when you could get your arm wrapped around someone's neck.
Well, and it's great because in moments of scrambles, when somebody's trying to come up on a leg or wrestle up or trying to get up, like, their last kind of thing that they might be thinking of, in this case, that's what Rodriguez was missing, was protecting the neck.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to get up fast. You're trying to to get out of danger's way. And sometimes you end up putting yourself in harm's way.
It's such a good way to shut down a wrestler who's used to pressuring in. They pressure right into that submission a lot of times.
They do.
And the best ones know how to avoid the neck attacks. They know how to jump over the legs. They know how to do all the things that keep you from getting in harm's way. But if you're good at timing when that shot's going to happen, snapping them down, getting control over it, or like you said, when they're building up, when they're trying to wrestle up and they just get a little too aggressive, a little too turtlenecky with their approach, there's always that chance of sinking in. And it's like once you start catching it, then you see that it's everywhere.
There are so many possibilities for submissions in scrambles.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta go for them and commit sometimes.
I mean, that Poirier fight was prime example that the guillotine is everywhere. Even if
once you see it, you won't unsee it.
Even if it isn't there, it's there.
And that's, I mean, what you just said is it's kind of a cautionary tale. Like you have to understand when to go for it and when to let go of it and start getting up, you know?
Yeah.
Some people tend to stay a little bit too long hunting for those submissions and they end up in their back and they end up losing a fight that way.
Almost happened to me.
But I mean, again, that's how we learn.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a hard learning experience, but yes, there are submissions everywhere. It's you know, that skill and understanding the right time, the right place, the right moment to abandon or to go for it.
Yeah. So I actually did a little grappling thing this weekend.
You did.
It was very fun. Fight to win. If you guys have ever seen that anywhere around, it's a pretty fun event. You basically just have one round. You go crazy, and then you get to hang out with your friends afterwards and drink and stuff, drink and eat. So it was cool. I want you to do it.
I would love to.
Yeah. I want you to do it. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I'm still waiting to hear back about that one super fight at the Apex in September. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I immediately sent in my information.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If not that, then I would love to get my feet wet, you know, in competition with a grappling match.
Mm-hmm. And I like the way it's set up because whenever you go to a tournament, it's like, yeah, I get the feel of competition once you get in there, but when it comes to those 1-versus-1 matches where it's a super fight, people are waiting for you to walk out, there's a stare down, that always makes it a little more realistic to what we go through.
It's a great fight simulation. It really is.
Yeah. It's really important, I think, for fighters to get in, especially when you haven't been in there in a while. I think it's a really fun thing to do. And for me, the more I can do that, the better, because the nerves are so annoying to deal with on fight night. That's what I was talking about, that little moment before you walk out. If someone gets a quick knockout, you're like, God damn it. I thought I had 5 extra minutes. Thanks a lot, Damon. Well, should we talk about our boy Energy before we do our bonus?
I think we should.
Yeah, so we got our Skullet gang gear on. If you don't know what a Skullet is, just watch any of Charles Johnson's fights and you will see. It is a thing. It's a choice.
It is a choice. It's a personal choice. I'm growing and learning to support it.
Oh, maybe rock one day?
Nope. No. But I support him.
I support him.
It's his trademark. You know what? He makes it look good.
He does.
He's got the style for it. He makes it look good.
He gets the cool designs in the back of it.
He does.
Yeah.
It wasn't dyed this time. Normally it's it's colored. I think it's been green, purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was low key.
It gives Krusty the Crown vibes when it's dyed. I'm in two minds about letting Adam try it. I'm not sure if he could pull it off.
Don't do it.
I should get him to do it. Hey guys, if you want to see Adam try to pull off a Skullet, say something in the comments, and if we get 5 comments for Skullet gang, that's all it takes.
I'm gonna go comment 5 times.
we'll have to have Adam rock a Skullet in my next fight, in my next corner. Oh, and we have fight news.
Oh, are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, we
Are we
are.
going to wait till exclusive content time?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Some fight news and the exclusive content. If you're a member, you can hear right now. But if not, you're going to have to wait a few days.
Oh.
So we'll see you in a second.